welcome to Prime Time. I'm Paul Orford, and today we're at the Colours Cafe in the Four Seasons. Very nice. If you ever fancy a cup of tea and a nice sit down, as we say in England, they're coming here. I'm with the award-winning, most viewed primetime ever, Viktoria Soltesz from PSP Angels. And today, what I really wanted to cover was where it's the start of the new year. We've got the new year, new me. I want to quit my job and start my own thing. Well, not me personally, but you know, there's people out there like that. So somebody who's done it, when should you quit your job and start your own business?
It's very tricky because I've seen so many success stories, but I've seen double failures, unfortunately, because I'm still advising from an accountant point of view to many companies, and I can see that once you don't have a proper plan, once you have only just an idea, but you didn't really work out the little details, then most probably you're going to fail. So yes, I can see so many times that there is a lot of enthusiasm behind. You really want to do your own thing. You're motivated, you're dedicated, but you just don't think about small things. That, for example, when you hire someone, that person needs to be paid, and then you need to allocate more money for that person than the salary, because then you have to pay the social insurance on top of that, and so on and so forth. So the devil is always in the details. So yes, be motivated, be enthusiastic, but try to keep it together and try to keep it real, because dedication and hard work is not always enough to be successful.
Because I've seen people have a good, let's call it, I hate the phrase, but side hustle.
Yeah.
And how do they turn that into something which is a viable full-time job?
Yes.
Like, what plans should they have in place, essentially?
Definitely, you need to have a solid financial plan, because you don't always think about how much money that you're missing just by not working. So if you had a salary, for example, for a solid, 3,000 euros per month, and now you want to do your own business, it's not only that, okay, I get 1,000 out of my new job, but how much actually you lost by not working. So of course it's a long time thing, but at the end of the day, everybody has to pay their own mortgage, you have to pay your own rent, you have to eat, you have to pay for the everyday situation, but you need to have a very solid financial plan at the background to be able to be confident that yes, if nothing happens, and trust me, there are some dry periods when nothing really happens for months, then you can still survive and you don't lose your motivation and you don't starve to death.
Well, that's the next key point, is everybody starts off with an amazing amount of enthusiasm. This is the best thing ever, I'm the next Bill Gates. When you hit your first challenge, the first dry patch, what tips would you give to keep on fighting?
You have to be realistic, because I've seen so many times that people are even fighting when the hope is lost, right? So okay, yeah, be dedicated, but still be realistic. That it's really worth what you are doing. So many times I saw that, all right, I will open a restaurant, but by the time you realize that, okay, you need a license, you need stuff to run, you need to pay the electricity, then you say, okay, we can still make it. No, there are some times when you just cannot make it. So you need to understand what is the point when you need to say stop wasting money out of that. So
well, in a roundabout sort of way, that's why people use your service, because like, let's say for example I had an idea about a crypto, for example, and then I've got this amazing idea, it's going to be life changing, and then you hit the real life, essentially, where like you need to get banking, this and it's just a nightmare. So if viewers out there are looking to make their own crypto brokerage or whatever, what should they do?
Right, it's very important that so many times we can see that there is a startup and is looking for funding, and there are so many scams out there. When there's a great idea, there's a great team behind it, and they're looking for investors. Now, sometimes the investors are not real investors, so they say to you that, okay, we can invite you in this very exclusive dinner, you have to pay 20,000 to meet the real investors. Or we can make an introduction for different investors, but you have to pay up for, 5,000 euros. You need to pay a booth in an exhibition whereby you will meet some investors, and so on and so forth. So I've seen so many times that, and mainly crypto companies are very enthusiastic. Yes, let's put it down. We will meet the investors, but the investors just never come. So you need to find out, first of all, that what is the what is the base minimum viable product that you can create without having any investment, and if is doable, because sometimes investment is just not going to come. So you're just wasting your time on something which might never be invested in, and then the whole project fails, and basically you need to close it down with a massive amount of loss, which is coming out of your pocket. So we are talking about so many times people are selling their own houses, just to fund the project. They are hoping for an investor. Obviously, investor never comes because there are startups left and right wherever you look, and they cannot make it. So it's completely unrelated to my services, but this is what I can see being out there and being an entrepreneur, that sometimes you need to understand when to say no, when to say stop, because yes, enthusiasm and motivation and dedication is good, but it's not everything. So you have to be at the right time, at the right place, with the right idea, but the right place at the right time is not 100% up to you. It's up to certain circumstances which might be out of your authorities sometimes.
But I've seen it a lot with forex brokerages where I dealt with a lot of startup ones, and there is certain rules that you need to follow. But they don't, and they just seem to think they're trying to reinvent the wheel by having the same service and stuff like that, and you feel bad for them. You try and tell them, look, if you want to succeed, you kind of need to follow, it's almost like a Forex Bible as such, isn't it, where you've got to have X, Y, and Z done before you can go off on your own merry way, and hopefully you do succeed, often you don't.
That's true. But that's what the regulator is for, if you think about it. That's the whole idea of the regulation, that, put some kind of institutional borders for all those cowboys out there, because everybody is trying to be clever. What if I do that? What if I do that? Sometimes you need to play within the rules.
No, I agree with that. It's just some people come with a business plan of just getting clients on Facebook chat and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And you're like, why don't you just give the money to a homeless person or something? You've got more chance of at least somebody benefiting from it rather than MetaQuote's conglomerate or something like that, you know what I mean? Not to say that they're bad people, but you know what I mean?
You
just,
never know.
There's easier ways to do things.
That's true.
So, it's the first interview of the year. What are your plans for 2020? What have you got lined up?
Well, we've got a lot of plans. I'm very lucky because I can confirm that we have more and more clients, and we are growing exponentially. Because if you help one client, then it's going to recommend you to two, and the two clients recommend you to four, and then so on and so forth. So we started the year very successfully. I'm very happy that we've got a lot of clients, and we introduced the ongoing consulting service as well, because we can see that many companies, unfortunately, they don't have a payment department. They don't have a plan of how to plan their own payments. They are not really confident when it comes to costing and planning for the banking expenses. They might not be aware of the challenges of opening up to new jurisdictions and find local banking, local payment providers, alternative payment methods. So what we introduced, that PSP Angels now have a team of experts, cryptocurrency payment expert. We've got one ex-head of payments from a very well-known forex brokerage. We've got other outsourced experts within the local area. And what we do is basically a consortium for the client, dedicated for their own company. So we start off with the evaluation of the business. We revise the documents. We understand what is the reason for the setup. Why do you have a company? For example, in Estonia, when you're trading in Slovakia, is it for the license? Is it for other reasons? So we investigate a bit more on that. Then we come up with a financial and payment plan. We advise that, if we arrange the payments from here to there, where the money is coming in, where the money goes, we can actually advise on the different burdens and reduce the risk on that. And then we obviously implement the plan as well. So we can help you all of the way, fill out the right application form, sign in the right place, because if we send it without the signature, it's going to come back. You have to spend time on that. So we are basically putting everything in an ordered manner, so your payment area, your payment function is being taken care of.
So it's fair to say you do a lot for, and it's not the fee of the brokerage or the people that pay you, it's the PSP that pays you. it's not like my flaky introductions where it's just an email and they get on with it. Like, you're putting in a lot of legwork for this, you know?
Yes, obviously we still have the free service. So once you need to find a payment service provider, of course we are more than happy to help you. We have over 200 partners now. We partnered up with different gateways who introduced us to new area payment service providers as well. So we can offer more than 200 payment service providers basically globally. So the free service stays, but the free service is based on the very limited amount of information that we are getting from you at the first round from one company. So basically we are sending out that limited amount of information to all our payment partners, and when they get back to us saying that yes, I'm happy to take that business, we do the introduction and then you're on your own. Obviously, if you have a payment department who can obviously do the planning for you and do the internal legwork and everything, of course, by all means, that's what we see, for example, with bigger brokerages with over 1 million, 2 million turnover. They have their own payment department, is being taken care of. But the small companies might not be able to determine what is the best for them from every step on the way. They just simply sometimes don't have time, and those are the guys who can actually benefit from this consulting service what we provide with Payment
And also
Angels.
zero cost.
We charge for an hour.
No, but I mean, like, if you're like a small company, you know what I mean, like, money is tight, so they need to go to professional. And let's face it, you are like the leader in the field. Normally, if I was going to a consultant, they would charge me about 100 euros an hour or something like that.
Yes.
So with this,
yes, we charge as well per an hour, obviously, for making this, because obviously we have a cost. We got a team of experts, and obviously time is money. What we can start up with is the free service, of course, but later on, obviously,
fair enough,
and these are the ongoing consulting service what we can help the client with.
all right, cool. Well, let's finish it there. Always a nice, thorough rundown from Victoria. That's why she was #1 viewed, I guess. So there you go. So I think based on what Victoria said, have a good plan if you're going to quit your job.
Yes.
And or if you do quit your job, make sure you've got a good PSP Angel to help you process some funds or something like that. All right.
Exactly.
Cheers, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.